Imagine this. We're in Las Vegas. Lights, casinos, mega hotels, Elvis 7 days a week, and happy drunks holding neon daiquiris at 11 in the morning. Everything shines. Everything looks great. But there's this tiny, almost invisible detail that flips the whole story. Because every time Las Vegas starts to wobble, it's not a coincidence. It's a signal. A signal that something much bigger, and much uglier, is on the way. Here, in this neon oasis in the middle of the desert, the numbers start falling before anywhere else in the country. First visitor counts slip, then business travel cools, and faster than your hotel Wi-Fi loads a single email. We're talking recession. Sounds dramatic? Well, it wouldn't be the first time. In 2001, 2008, 2020, every time Vegas showed symptoms, the United States ended up in the ICU. It's like this city is the thermometer for the entire economy. And now, in 2025, the lights are still on, but the data is yelling. Something's coming. I'm Fernando Polti, your go-to realtor in Sin City, and today I'm going to show you how Las Vegas, yes, the city where you can get married to a stranger at 3 in the morning, can predict a global crisis, and what that means for real estate. Year 2001. America was riding an economic boom. Dial-up internet still screeched like a fax machine. Friends was on season 7, and the only bubble people worried about was the fizz when you cracked open a Pepsi. And in Las Vegas, everything was cruising. Packed hotels, international tourism rising, conventions everywhere. Hotel occupancy, 91.0%, which basically means there weren't enough beds for all the people. Not figuratively, literally no midweek rooms available. And here's the crazy part. No one was saying the word crisis. But in Vegas, the numbers started coughing before the rest of the country caught a cold. In just a few months, occupancy drops to 86.7%. 5 points. Sounds small, but here that's thousands of empty rooms every night, month after month. In 2000, Las Vegas welcomed 35.8 million visitors. In 2001, it slipped to 35.0 million. But the real punch came in the final months. After September 11th, some months saw drops over 10%, especially in air travel and business tourism. What happened? First, companies started cutting travel. Cancel that Vegas convention, John. Buffet lines aren't in the budget. Then leisure tourism wobbled. Combine that with the shock of 9/11, and the US officially entered a recession from March to November 2001. By the time the rest of the country said, something's off, Vegas was already running a fever and asking for Gatorade. Night shows thinned out. Taxi lines had cars, but no passengers. Restaurants threw discounts even your cheapskate brother-in-law couldn't ignore. Here's the key. Vegas was the first thermometer. The city cooled months before the federal government acknowledged the recession. Because Las Vegas lives on. Business travelers, Monday through Thursday. Leisure travelers, Friday through Sunday. And people willing to spend like Monday doesn't exist. If that formula breaks, the entire country should start. Flash forward to 2007. The headlines said the country was fine. Everyone was buying houses, banks were handing out mortgages like party favors, and real estate reality shows were everywhere. But in Vegas, deja vu showed up early. In 2007, hotel occupancy hit 94.2%. Wild. Concerts, boxing fights, medical conventions, trade shows, everything packed. Then 2008, 89.6%. In 2009, 84.5%. Add this. In 2007, Vegas had 39.2 million visitors. By 2009, 36.4 million. That's almost 3 million fewer in 2 years. Meanwhile, nationwide, banks collapsed, the stock market cratered, millions lost their homes. But guess which city showed the cracks first? In Vegas, you already saw hotels slashing prices in desperation, empty restaurants midweek, casinos unable to keep their shows afloat, and corporate travel, about a third of annual revenue, almost vanishing in 2008. The Great Recession officially started in December 2007, but Vegas felt it earlier, harder, and for longer. In 2009, total casino revenue on the Strip fell over 10%, and 65,000 foreclosures hit Clark County. 65,000. That's more than multiple small cities. Gone. Tourism falls. Jobs fall. Mortgage payments fall. And then, the real estate dominoes start tumbling. Vegas wasn't just the first symptom, it was the epicenter, the spoiler, the alarm everyone ignored. One word changed everything. COVID. While other cities talked precautionary lockdowns and hoarded toilet paper like it was gold, Las Vegas literally flipped the switch. The Strip went dark. No shows, no flights, no impulsive Elvis weddings. Just silence, and a very real desert. If 2001 and 2008 cooled Vegas, 2020 froze it solid. Hotel occupancy, 0. Visitors, down 55% year over year. Conventions and events, all canceled. Never in modern history had the city experienced such a vertical, total collapse. McCarran, now Harry Reid, lost 23+ million passengers in a single year. Highway traffic plunged 50%. Casino revenue halved, literally. And here's the kicker. While other cities had some cushion, industry, tech, remote offices, Vegas had no plan B, no Silicon Valley, no chip fabs. It's tourists, or it's nothing. The city survived on sheer grit, loans, federal aid, and restaurants inventing margarita delivery in plastic bags with straws. Yes, really. Rents fell for the first time in 7 years. Shows like Cirque du Soleil laid off thousands. Entire hotel towers stayed closed for over a year. That left a scar that still hasn't fully healed. Vegas depends on massive events, international tourism, corporate conventions, and the promise that everything happens here. And sure, 2021 to 2022 brought a rebound, but 2020 left a crystal clear lesson. When the visitor flow is cut, Las Vegas doesn't just suffer, it collapses. In 2025, Vegas is that friend who says, "I'm fine, bro," with a twitchy eyelid and 1,000-yard stare. At first glance, yeah. Shows, tourists, the casinos lit up, traffic on the Strip as awful as ever. But the real numbers tell a different story. Overall hotel occupancy, 77%. That's 6.5 points lower than last year. Sounds small, but it's the same pattern we saw in 2001, 2008, and 2020. First a gentle dip, then a slide, then a national recession. The midweek story is worse. 75.5% occupancy Monday, Thursday. Who travels midweek? Corporate. Conventions, trade shows, medical conferences, business meetings. That's the money crowd. When that slows, the city starts to sweat. Weekends are hanging on at 87.6%, but even that's 3.7 points below last year. Translation: even the bachelor parties are blinking. Prices? Average daily rate down to $163, a 6.6% drop. Seems minor, until you multiply by approximately 150,000 rooms in the valley, 4 nights a week, hundreds of hotels. We're talking millions in monthly revenue gone. RevPAR, revenue per available room, down to $120.70, a 7.11% drop. That's a red flag because it means fewer bookings, cheaper rooms, squeezed margins. And when margins get squeezed in Vegas, cuts start, and the flywheel slows. The airport handled 395,000 fewer passengers this month versus the same month last year. I-15 traffic is down 4%, roughly 2,000 fewer cars a day driving in from California. Casino revenue is barely above last year, but we've seen this movie. The casino is the last thing to fall. When it does, everything else already has. So now that we've heard Vegas coughing, guess who catches the flu? Exactly, real estate. Vegas has a unique chain reaction. When tourism drops, it's not just the casino losing money. It's the person cleaning the casino, the valet, the buffet server, and the timeshare closer selling with Aunt on Christmas enthusiasm. When those folks take home less, The first thing that suffers is the mortgage payment. So far in 2025, we've already seen 12,000 plus foreclosure notices. And the wild part? That's 40% higher than the same period last year. What does that mean? More homes entering the legal pipeline, inventory starting to climb, prices slowing, or even dipping, buyer confidence heading for the emergency exit. And it's not just primary buyers. A lot of investors who went heavy on Airbnb and short-term rentals are staring at lower occupancy, cancellations, and nightly rates that don't even cover the HOA. Meanwhile, the median sale price is flattening. After years of record gains, recent months are basically flat, and some neighborhoods are showing up to 5% price cuts. Buyers? Some say, "I'll wait." Others can't qualify after hours get cut at work. And banks are tightening lending standards. So if you're thinking of selling, you'll need strategy. If you're thinking of buying, this might be the window to get in before the market recovers and prices climb again. Yes, every crisis brings opportunities, but only for the people who understand the cycle and don't panic. So, can Las Vegas predict a global crisis? It's done it 3 times. And based on what we're seeing now, it might be doing it again. But instead of freaking out, take this as your chance to move with an edge. As our grandparents say, when the waters get choppy, that's when fishermen profit. If the Vegas River is churning, it's time to scout for opportunities. I'm Fernando Polti, your Latino-Argentinian realtor in Las Vegas. If you want strategy and real numbers, not neon smoke and mirrors, send me a message. While everyone else is gambling, I'll help you invest smart. And if you made it this far, you're a legend. Like, subscribe, and share it with that friend who still says, the market always goes up. The best time to buy was yesterday. The second best is now. See you in Vegas.